Alright everybody, hello and welcome as always. I am Sean, this is In The Mixer, episode 55. Feeling alive in our FC Isle of Man series. We are continuing our League 1 season, our first year at this level. If you haven't gone back and watched all the other episodes, 7 back-to-back promotions, 6 league titles in that time as well. We're kind of starting to plateau out a little bit. We're definitely, I don't think, going to get promoted this season, which is absolutely fine. That's no drama at all. We've had a fantastic year. We're continuing to bring through higher potential youngsters. We're continuing to give them a platform to actually play football, which has been great. And results have been up and down, but I do think we're good enough to stay in the division at this point. We're going to jump in, have a look at our results over the last couple of games. And as you guys can see here, we are currently sitting in 12th position on the league itself. Our -8 goal difference is what hurts at the moment. We've lost twice by 5 goal margins. But we're getting towards the end of the year now. It's kind of like a seasonal episode with New Year's and our first game of the new year happening as well. We'll get to those in a moment, but you can see gaps are definitely starting to open up. We're currently sitting on 31 points. There's a gap back to the relegation teams that are back on 22, so we're 9 points clear, at least 3 games at the moment of any relegation concerns. Most of the league is levelling out quite nicely with a lot of teams having played 24 games. There's a couple here on 22, which is fine. They may potentially leapfrog us, push us down a little bit further. They may not. Depends how their form, fitness, all that sort of stuff goes. And there's definitely this really kind of tight top 6 group, all the teams that are above 40 points at the moment that are effectively just exchanging places each week at different points. Peterborough, Wigan, Sunderland, Millwall, MK Dons and Rotherham have all been top of the division. The 2 that gave us the heaviest defeats were Peterborough and Plymouth. We've done actually alright against the rest of them. But what has continued to be the bane of my existence is losing against these sides that are down in the bottom 4. If we go and have a look at our schedule here, of course, in that last episode, we played our game against AFC Wimbledon, which we lost 3-1 convincingly, and then a 1-1 draw against QPR. Thankfully, in that replay, we won 2-1 to continue our FA Cup journey for this season. And I think we're probably going to continue to try and bring the FA Cup games in each of these episodes as we move forward, starting today and continuing into next week. We then beat Fylde 2-0 in the Leeson.com Trophy second round, so we're still in that competition as well. These extra cup competitions, if we're not going to get promoted, we're not going to get the extra cash flow that way, we can at least focus on them and try and get additional prize money, which is great. And then Mansfield, who are in the bottom 4, beat us 1-0. I don't know how they beat us 1-0. We were all over in this game. We had 100 chances. We just couldn't find the finishes. Then we played Scunthorpe, who finished second in League 2 last season. We, of course, finished third. Wimbledon winning the division. We drew 2-2 with them. I should be happier about this, but we were 2-0 up and we kind of bottled it a little bit. They scored in the 44th via the penalty spot and then 49th minute in the second half. We did go attacking for the last half an hour. We were probably on top of them in that last little bit, but they held on a 2-2 draw, the end result, before a good 2-0 victory against Coventry away from home. We've just been kind of adjusting, fluctuating between our existing positive mentality, which is what we're kind of using as a default when we're away from home, or our attacking mentality if we're at home and playing a lower division side. I think we're going to use the attacking mentality today as well. Which brings us to the game against Chesterfield. We, of course, started the season with a 2-2 draw against Chesterfield. Right back at the start of this week, which wasn't that long ago, but feels like forever ago for me. It'll be a good marker to see, have we actually improved in the second half of the season? And as we set ourselves up for the run home next week, are we in a better position kind of 6 months down the track? Do we have enough about ourselves to keep our heads above water and maybe potentially push for that top 10 finish that we set ourselves at the start of the year? So this will be a really good marker. If we lose convincingly, we're probably gone backwards and it's a disaster and everyone strap themselves in for a relegation battle next week. Alright, so looking at the 2 lineups here, we're of course going with Johnson in goal. At the moment, it's Taylor and Coates as the central defensive partnership. McCluskey is currently out, suspended. Preston Kelly and Barnes as the 2 fullbacks. Similar story, we're just trying to rotate a little bit there. So Barnes comes in at right fullback. Ricky Dean and Sam Taylor as the left and right winger respectively. Robertson and Waterman as the current central midfield partnership. We have rotated this quite a bit. Munoz came back in for a little bit. Waterman played as the deep line playmaker. That worked okay. Knowles and Record play up top. I am trying to start to rotate Birch and Colon through, which is why they're both on the bench in this one. They're playing a very similar 4-4-2 structure. It just looks a little bit mirrored in potentially some of their roles. So they've got a deep line forward or maybe even a false 9 here. Irving, their leading scorer, who looks okay, nothing spectacular, just some solid attributes all across the board. Good natural fitness is the one that stands out. He's going to play alongside for Levy, who's an ex-Wimbledon player. 28-year-old, looks to be fairly solid at this division and this level. Allen, in the middle of the park, is their best player, ex-Burton midfielder. Has been at the club now for a few seasons. He looks fairly solid, but again, nothing spectacular jumping out at me as being like a green value attribute or anything like that. Jack Nolan on the left wing is their captain. He looks relatively solid, good balance as a left-sided player on that side. And in goal, Lee Burge, 33-year-old ex-Coventry player, looks to be fairly solid as well. So they're not a terrible team by any stretch of the imagination, but I would think we should have enough to get beyond them. we're going to calmly tell everybody, I want you to pick up where you left off last time out. I'm going to try and use calm as a more like kind of rational presentation. I use assertive quite a bit, but I'm going to try and use calm to keep the group calm, relaxed, focused, whatever else. I do have to kind of adjust from being last season a manager that coached a team of like 24, 25-year-olds that had played for quite a while to being a manager this year where everyone's pretty much under the age of 20 and we kind of have to work through it there. Got a corner here early doors. Ricky Dean to play it in. It's headed away. Wademan picks up the ball at the top of the box, hangs one towards back stick, and then Holgate hacks the ball clear. Highlight comes to an end, but at least we're getting positive highlights to start the match off. They've got a corner here. It's going to be Allen to take, who we spoke about in the build-up. Wraps his foot around it. It's headed straight up pretty much in the air. Irving gets the ball at the top of the box. Played across to Liverpool, now for Levy, and he gets the strike away, but Johnson equal to it. Manages to push it around the post at near post. Good save from the keeper. Another corner here. Allen to take. Deep one across. Coates manages to flick it on and out for the throw. Is that the end of the highlight? It is. Highlight here, 32 minutes played. I'm about to use a shout regardless of how this one goes. Ball in from Little. Straight from the goal kick. Allen plays it back to him. He's looking for the ball over the top for Levy. Is he onside? I think it might have been Barnes at right back keeping him on. No, the referee calls it back for the offside. We're going to use our demand more shout just to give everyone some focus through to half-time. We don't want to risk conceding on the stroke of half-time because that always sets us up for a kind of nervy second half. 1 minute to be added on here, and it's gone very quickly. So in the end, 2 shots, 1 on target. That was our statistical result in like the first 5 minutes of the game. 59% possession, which is fine. 5-3 and 41 for Chesterfield. So what I think we might do is go to the dressing room and say assertively, we've been the better team here, and that's worked okay. Let's assertively also tell the defence you weren't that bad, but you can improve. And let's also switch to our positive mentality and see if that's a bit more effective against the Chesterfield line. It might be that they're trying to counter-attack a little bit. Levy's gotten in behind a couple of times from the highlights that we've seen. All right, now go on. We're going to make 3 subs. We're going to bring on Chris Judge, Oliver Munoz, and Mark Birch. Birch will play as the deep line forward. Munoz is the Messiah, with Wademan moving to the deep line playmaker, and Judge at centre back. Mainly just because of yellow cards, and also just some of the match ratings that we've got in there aren't great. We're also going to use our Get Creative shout. I would take a scrappy 1-0 win if it means we get the 3 points, but a draw kind of drags us a little bit further down the table. And we do have to keep an eye on like Southend's game in hand. Coventry is going to pick up points later in the year. Deep ball across here towards Irving, and they've found a goal. So I wonder if our tactical changes come into that. We might as well go attacking for the last 20 minutes. We've got nothing to lose here. We've got to try and find the back of the net. It's just a short throwing routine, really. Smells Braithwaite back to Crooks, and he pretty much puts the ball straight in the box. To be fair, it's a cracking ball. Like, if one of our players did that, I'd be losing my shit about how wonderful it is. And Irving side foots that one home into the top corner. All right, I've got a corner here. Sam Taylor to take. It's headed away unchallenged by Ince. Wademan should get there first and reset through Preston Kelly. Ball over to Judge, who's not the guy that we really want on the ball there. And he plays it to Taylor, of course. Our centre-backs combining to try and create something, which is never really the best idea. Wademan, back to Barnes. Looks to send Ricky Dean into the corner. Crooks recovers, but clearance is poor. Finds Sam Taylor at the top of the box. Skips past one challenge. Can he find the finish? He cannot. He puts it straight at Burge. He does quite well to hold and save. We've used our demand more shout as well for the last 10 minutes or so here. They've got a deep free kick again, Allen to take, and the header's just over the crossbar. Surely there's some more late drama. We need some more opportunities. 3 minutes to be added on here, and we are rocketing through it. The referee calls full time. Very disappointing performance. 4 shots, 3 on target, 54% possession, 11-5 and 46. So we drew with them 2-2 at the start of the season. We've lost 1-0 to them halfway through the year. I don't know if that means we've taken a step back and I should panic, or if it just means that they've also improved assertively. Far from pleased. We'll go with that. And everyone has at least responded positively to it, which is still good to see. It's a bit tough when you're kind of middle of the table because you don't know really how to kind of inspire your team that's around you. Do I try and raise expectations a bit? Do I try and push them to do more? Or am I relatively happy to not be kind of currently in a scrap for relegation spots? Transfer window opens in January. We're probably not going to do too much early doors. There's just not much on the free transfer market, but we will keep an eye on transfer listed and loan listed players. What we might do, and it might be something that we do in the next episode, is go through and have a look at like players that are in youth academies, youth teams and Premier League sides, and see how we would put them on the shortlist and try and get scouting reports and all that sort of thing. But before we do that, magic of editing, when you jump forward to our home FA Cup game against Cardiff now. Alright, just like that, we're a week ahead. Not a tremendous amount happened, but there have been certain things in the media, maybe some different interviews offered from higher division sides. Aston Villa, who is 6th in the Championship at the moment, offered me an interview for the for the manager job there, and I also got offered a job by Huddersfield, or an interview, I should say, not a job, an interview by Huddersfield, who are currently in the Premier League. I think they're sitting around 17th, 18th, but of course we turned them down because we're in with Isle of Man for the long haul. We're going to get ourselves to the Premier League, and that's how we're going to get those jobs. But good to see that we are starting to kind of pick up our manager reputation a bit around the world as well. Only a couple of changes. We're going to bring McCluskey back in. He returns from suspension. I've also moved Wademan to be the deep line playmaker and Munoz to come on as the the Messiah at the moment. Just so you guys can kind of see it, we'll see how Wademan plays as a deep line playmaker. He can do it. And maybe as far as like planning for next season, starting to develop for next year as well, we start to get our highest potential players out there instead to try and keep our league position. Of course, though, Cardiff, a very good side, currently sitting in the Championship in 11th spot, in fact. So like a big step up for quite a few of the players. This is a learning experience. It would be great to get through. I would absolutely love it to continue getting that revenue from games and all that sort of stuff. But even if we fall this early, I'm not going to be particularly upset by it. Passionately, let's say we're underdogs and that suits us down to the ground. And let's tell the calmly, I have faith in the two up front and see if they can potentially find the back of the net and put us in a good position for the rest of the game. I didn't preview any of their players, mainly because they're probably all worth about £5 million and any of them could hurt us at any time. We have got the ball here though. We've sent Ricky Dean into the corner. Record is in the box if we can find him. Puts it towards it now. Pinballs around and someone's gone down in there. It might have actually been Record, and we've picked up a penalty in the 4th minute of this one. He's going to take it and he finds the back of the net. So a phenomenal start. I don't want to go out and call too early that this may be a massive upset because there's a tremendous amount of football to be played, but about as good a start as we could potentially want. It's a good penalty, high and to the left. Maybe the keeper could have done a little bit better trying to get across to it, but it looked like it had a bit of venom on it. And one chance, one little attacking foray, and one goal against higher division sides, which is fantastic to see. And I guess I should mention, this is actually, when I say Championship, it's not that far away from us anymore. It's not like they're miles above. If we get promoted again, we're going to be playing Championship opposition every week. So this is actually a really good test for, one, our tactic and how we're set up structure-wise, and also if any of this team's actually ready to play against sides at that level. We've got 10 minutes to go before half-time. I'm going to use our demand more shout just to find focus. Hopefully, it hasn't responded, no one's actually even noticed that I've said anything. They probably can't hear me over the massive crowd. All right, we get through to half-time, 1-0 up. We've had 4 shots, 3 on target, 46% possession, leading from the penalty spot. They've had 9, 4, and 54, but we just haven't seen any highlights. It's been quite boring, to be honest. Let's assertively say we've got to guard against complacency now, and everyone seems to have responded positively. We'll give it 15 minutes. We're going to keep an eye on these yellow cards that are picking up here. We're going to also keep an eye on match ratings to see if there's anyone struggling in particular. But mainly, I just want to focus on our defensive line and making sure it's up to date. Free kick here from Gallagher. Not a bad effort, always drifting away from goal, though. Another free kick again, deep one from Gallagher. This time he hangs it up, back post. Wademan gets the ball away. Riles is going to put it back in, plays it out left to Nyambe. Back to Riles again. We're doing quite well stopping the forward pass. Press is out of control here at the moment. 2 guys went to the ball when they really shouldn't have. Nyambe back in at centre back. Now Gallagher. They've worked a nice little 2v1 here on the right hand side. Roberts plays it in for Evgen, who was the player highlighted as their key player in the build-up. Managed to close down that cross. Gallagher's going to recover. Riles with the ball. Back to Roberts, into Gallagher, Merlot, reverse pass to Evgen. It's a great strike, to be fair. A wonderful, wonderful hit. Let's check him out, actually. So Norwegian player, right winger, but strong on his left-hand foot, playing as an inside forward. He looks very, very good. £9 million as a value. Still only 26 years of age. They picked him up from Bodo/Glimt. I'm probably butchering both pronunciations, but he looks to be a very good player. And to be fair, that is a very, very good strike. We'll check it out here in 3 dimensions. It was just that 2v1 on the left-hand side. We never really dealt with it appropriately. And once he picks the ball up here, gets his head up, that is an absolute rifle into the top corner. Hard to blame anyone when the strike is that pure. Let's see what we can do here. We've got 3 yellow cards, which is the biggest concern to me. So I think what we're going to do is take off Tyron Taylor, because he's got a habit of getting himself sent off. We're going to leave Preston Kelly. I'm going to trust him in this scenario. We'll bring on Clive Williams at right wing for Ricky Dean, who has struggled quite a bit. And potentially we take off Wademan for Carl Robertson, because that deep line playmaker role does tend to pick up quite a few yellows. So we're going to risk it by making 3 subs. We're going to use our get creative shout, but I'm going to stay on positive. I'm not going to move to attacking or anything. I think they'll tear us apart. But potentially, as things currently stand, we might force a replay, and we potentially also get to see who our opponent might be if we get through to the 4th round. We're going to use our demand more shout last 10 minutes here just to give everyone some focus. They've made a few of their subs now as well, and also used a shout. 4 minutes additional time to be added on. Ball forward to Ivan, played back to Nunez, the left back. Knowles has recovered the ball in a great possession and records 1v1 if he can find the finish. It's a great tackle from Akpo Guma, who I've probably butchered the pronunciation of. We lose out possession on halfway, and Wallace now has gotten goal side, and he's bursting forward into the box, and he's found the finish. That's heartbreaking. Oh, we were doing so well. 91st minute, Ian Wallace has gone on a hell of a run, and it's Barnes that just coughed up the ball on halfway, which isn't a great area to lose possession. And then as soon as Wallace picks it up, he gets goal side of McCluskey, and just no one can get near him, physically just tearing away. And it's a good finish, to be fair. Disappointing. But that's fine. That's like I said at the start, I'm not going to be devastated if we lose. We've at least held our own, unless they're about to find the back of the net here, and then I'll get very upset. Nyambe with the ball at left fullback. Now Merlot. Nunez hangs it back stick. Coates get the ball away, and then the strike from distance from Neely Saputo held very well by Johnston. What do we got here? Is there anything left in this highlight? We've got men bursting forward. If we can get it on that right-hand side a bit quicker, it's gone now, but for a second there, we had Williams goal side. Gallagher with possession now. Looks out left. Sam Taylor's recovered the ball in a great spot. What can we do here with our last potential chance of the game? He's gone the strike from distance. Resets through Robinson, base of midfield. Munoz back to Robinson again. Work it out to the other side, boys. Don't get stuck entirely on the left. Preston Kelly, left full back, hangs one back stick. Knowles was in there and he's just flicked a header past the near post. And the goal kick for Cardiff, is that going to be the last highlight? There's about 30 seconds remaining. The fact that this is continuing to go on and this highlight is still going is filling me with all kinds of false hope. Ivan picks up the ball on the left wing. Barnes with an excellent challenge. Puts it out for the throw-in. And dare I say, by the time they take it, we should be through the 4 minutes of additional time. Anything to be added on here? Have we got any chance? Any hope of a prayer? We've deflected the cross. Merlot chases the ball down. We're going to have to press, boys. We're going to have to go and get it. Malanika, keeper glitch. Oh, nearly. Record manages to... he can only head it back to the centre defender. Barnes with the ball now. Goes long forward and the referee calls full time. All right, so they give me false hope by allowing us to actually lead in these games. Taking that early goal. But to be fair, Cardiff were the better side. If you look at the stats here, 8 shots, 3 on target, 43% possession. We had more shots in this game than we had in the previous one against Chesterfield, which is mind-boggling to me. 15 shots, 7 on target, and 57% of the ball for Cardiff, the high division side. Wonderful strike to equalise, and a fairly good run and finish for the winner for them there as well. I'm just going to say, I can't fault your effort, and just trying to improve morale. So the FA Cup run comes to an end. It does mean that we only really have the leasing.com trophy to focus on, but I don't think that's that high a priority for me either. We're just going to focus really, I think, next week on finishing as high in the division as we can and setting ourselves up with the best youth prospects to bring into the club in the next off-season as well. Youthful FC Isle of Man come unstuck. Hakon Evgen gets the Man of the Match award for his wonderful strike, and our defeat in the third round sees us out of the FA Cup competition. We get 7.45k for losing. I wonder what we actually get from gate receipts for that one. And I'm going to send the assistant along to the post-match press conference because I cannot be bothered. We've got a few players who are kind of struggling for fitness at the moment. We might rotate them before the game against Wigan in a few days. But what does that do to our schedule? We do want to kind of get, I think, another episode in January if we can. So potentially maybe we'll come back in the next episode, and what we might do is like a special scouting one where we go and have a look. I'll probably just play this one Wigan game off screen. We'll come back and play the Rotherham game and do an episode where we look at how we would scout different players getting released from higher division sides. And then we might also do our leasing.com trophy game. That will be a good way to start next week. And if we continue and go on a little bit of a run at that competition, I can at least bring you guys the continued episodes. Chester are, of course, still down in League 2, so we should be good enough to get beyond them. But those are famous last words. As soon as I say stuff like that, we usually get rolled by lower division teams. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. That is the portion that I appreciate the most. If you wanted to go that little extra mile, support the content that little bit more, you can subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date on future videos. You can also drop a like on this video if you want to please that YouTube algorithm, get more views, get more community members, get more people in the comment section below following the content. If you ever need to reach out, our links are just over on that side there. On Twitter, @InTheMixer_FM. If you ever need to reach out or see our different interactions within the FM community. You can also check out our regular Sunday night Twitch streams, twitch.tv/InTheMixer_FM. We do a regular Sunday night stream, Sunday morning if you're in the UK, super early Sunday morning if you're in North America anywhere. But like I said at the start, what I appreciate the most is you guys watching and your continued support. I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the Mixer.